I know it's been a few days since you have not seen my face. I have been trying to balance a new schedule. And so bear with me while I learn how to fit everything in so that I can still show up for you guys, pour into you, and give you what you need. I have been extremely busy, and my busyness has literally had me focused on something else because I hadn't really been able to just slow down. But I have a few minutes on my hands, and I wanted to talk to the ladies today. Welcoming everybody from all over the world. And I'm Josie, if you guys don't know me, and I am the founder of Girl Plus Kingdom TV and Ministries. And on this channel, we talk about everything from transformation, discovering your purpose. We talk about relationships from a kingdom standpoint. We talk about business and health and fitness and wellness. And you just stepping into the fullness of what God has for you. And so today's message, I want to talk to y'all about relationships, okay? And to the ladies. And even sometimes I know I get men that tune in too. But for the ladies, I want to talk to you about when you find a man that has capacity for you, okay? You find somebody that can hold the container of your emotions. Like when you call them, or if you're going through something, you have a rough day. Yes, God is always present. He's a very present help in the time of trouble. And He does not want us to idolize anybody or put anybody on a pedestal. However, what I have realized is that God gives us good people. He gives us good friends. He gives us good men, dads, fathers. I just said that. Dads, brothers, uncles, cousins, best friends as men, whatever the case may be. But today I want to talk about when you actually find somebody who has the space to hold for you to be able to walk in the fullness of your femininity so that you don't have to be, hi, welcome to today's live. You don't have to be strong all the time around this type of guy. You don't have to be, hey, Daniela, you don't have to show up as Miss Independent or as somebody that, has it all together, but you can literally show up and allow your emotions to dwell in the presence of that man. That is a man that you want to keep. That is a man that you want to have around you, even if it's just a friend. That is the kind of man that will create the space for you to just be, but also heal. That is a man that helps you to heal. Thank you, Martin. Helps you to heal your nervous system. And so when you find a man that, even though he's going through things himself, even though he has challenges, he has things in his life that he's facing, but he can take out the time when you tell him, I actually need you. I need you. Like I'm giving you a piece of my story, right? Because there was a point of time in my life where um recently actually, and it was this guy that I was madly in love with. I mean, when I tell you, like, I thought that we were going to get married. We talked about marriage, but there was just some other things that the Lord had in store for me. And at the time, and God told me to cut it off. And for me, it was painful because the love that I shared with this guy was so deep and it was so real, and it made me feel like I was detaching from my own self when I detached from him because our souls connected. And I don't know if you've ever had a love like that where you meet somebody and you and the guy, your souls connect, your souls just intertwine like you've been knowing them for years. Like when y'all met, it's just something about that person that just gets all of you, right? You don't even have to explain everything about yourself. That person get it. Well, I found somebody like that. And I didn't want to let him go. I didn't want to see him walk away. I didn't want to walk away, but it was necessary because I started to idolize him. I started to put him at a high place because of the love that he gave and the things that we shared with one another, how we connected with each other. It was so powerful, and I began to idolize him. But even after we broke it off, we still remained good friends. And I saw how God um, didn't completely cut the connection. But I also see how God does not want us to, He didn't want me to idolize Him. So things had to come to an end. But recently I reached out to him because I had something happen in my life. And it was a tragedy. It was a situation where I'm like, God, help me. And I automatically thought about the person. And so I called him, but he didn't answer. And most of the time, this person, he's very busy. He's very success driven. He got a good head on his shoulders, got a vision, and he's working with everything in him to see the vision come to life. And so I understood that his time was limited. So he didn't pick up, right? But then I text him and I said, "Hey, this morning I need you," right? I told him, I said, "This morning I need you." And this man literally called me. He called me without hesitation. And he began to just listen to what I had going on. And it was in that moment that I recognized that although we may not be, I recognized that he still had place for me, right? In his heart, he had place for me. In his mind, he had a space for me within himself. So much so that when I texted him and told him that I needed him, he literally stopped everything he was doing to see about Josie. And so then I said, "But I don't just need you on the phone. I need to see your face." So he did everything that he could to get us on video chat because our phones are not compatible for it. So he was like, "I'm going to hit you up on Facebook and I'm going to do a video call with you on Facebook. And I promise I'm going somewhere with the story." So he calls me on video chat. Um, he speaks life into me. He prays for me. He covered me. He sung me songs just to lift my spirit, and then uh, just complimented the essence of a woman that I am and how I have impacted his life and have helped him to grow. And it's just so beautiful to see a love like that. Love like that does not come easy. Love like that, you don't always find. So what I'm saying is, when you find a man that can hold space for you and have the capacity to hold the weight of your emotions, that is a man that is worth being with. That is a man that is worth cherishing. That is a man that's worth you, just doing life with. This man showed up. He didn't have to. He was busy. He could have stayed, busy or been like, "Oh, I can't." But he showed up and was like, "I'm listening. I'm here for you. I'm here." And just being real about my own feelings about him, I still got love for him. Um, but at the same time, I understand that life happens, and so we're really good friends. We're really good friends, and that's just it. But that just showed me that, um, there are still good men out there that can hold capacity for you, that hey, one that can hold capacity for you, that can be there for you during the test of times. See, it's not how people feel. It's not what counts is not the moments in your life that people show up when things are good. What counts is those moments in your life when people show up and things are messy and they can still help regulate you. We need men in our lives that can help regulate us emotionally. We need men in our lives that we can go to them and it does not feel like we have to walk on eggshells. It does not feel like we have to be hard, be strong, be Miss Independent, but I can melt in his presence. His masculinity and his presence alone helps me to calm all the way down and comes from 100 to a level 0. And while I promote God And I say God is the number one man in your life that can really push that narrative for you. I also know that God can send good quality men into your life that can also do the same. So when you are searching, well, not searching like looking for a man, but or to go find a man, but when you are in the dating scene as a believer, as a woman of God, and you want to know what qualities that you should look for in a man, I know it takes time for you to see this one quality, but if he can hold space for your emotions without buckling under pressure, without cutting you off mid sentence, without blame shifting you and putting the blame on you in the middle of you expressing how you feel, that is a man that not only loves you, but he loves himself. Because no man, if a man cannot hold capacity for you, most likely he does not have the inward capacity to hold for himself. And so you won't be able to experience the fullness of love with that type of person if he cannot hold the capacity for you, because he don't have capacity within himself to do so. So that is that is where we have to be mindful and watchful as women, because if that man can't do something as simple as listen to you, how can he be a good husband? Great men know how to make room for not just theyself. Great men know how to leave space for anybody, not even just a woman, but anybody. And so that's the message for today. Find you somebody that can hold capacity for you. Find you somebody that don't mind you being soft, don't mind you crying, don't mind you being in your feminine. Find you a man that don't mind you weeping on his shoulders. When you tell him I'm tired, when you tell him I'm tapped out, when you tell him I don't have the capacity, even if he himself is in a state where he don't feel like he has the strength, that man, that masculine man, that good godly quality man will go within himself, hear me well, and he will pour out strength, because in his private time when he's by himself, he's building himself up. In his private time when it's just him and God, he's God is filling up that man's cup. So even if he's going through things himself, you have to have a man in your life that has the capacity to hold the weight of what you carry. So maybe you're going through a hard situation, a hard relationship, and you might feel like, man, I'm always walking on eggshells with this man. I can never let my hair down. I can never just be. I can never just exist in his presence. You need to go out and find you another man. If you married, I'm not talking to you because that's different. But if you're not married, and ask yourself this question and be real with yourself right now and say, do this man have capacity for me? Can he hold the weight of my emotions without him buckling? Can he listen to me to understand what I'm saying? Do he have the capacity to pull in, help me balance my emotions and regulate my emotions again? And see, me having an absent father, so to speak, like he was in my life, but he didn't father me. I didn't know that I needed that from a man. So growing up, I was strong, hardcore, too direct, too straight to the point, too strong willed, I mean, you're supposed to be strong willed, but too strong willed, too independent. And I didn't know that I was operating in a lot of masculine energy. And so when I met the person I'm talking about, that person showed me you don't always have to be strong as a woman. When you get in my presence, you can rest. Yeah, I'm going through stuff myself, but I will always make time, and I will always make room for you because you matter to me. So that's the type of men that we need in our lives. Men that won't push us away, because the number one need for a woman is safety, is security, right? To feel secure, to feel safe, to feel like she's able to just relax and just be. And most of the time, that is the type of man that that woman falls in love with. She didn't fall in love with him for his bag. She didn't fall in love with him for his status. She didn't fall in love with him because he was super gifted and anointed. She didn't fall in love with him because of all the accolades that he received on the outside and all the times people clapped for him and said his name and all of that. See, that woman didn't fall in love with that man because of the things he had. I can guarantee you that if a woman falls in love with a man, I would say 8 times out of 10, that man held space for her. That man opened himself up to receive her. That man made her feel safe. Men have to make women feel safe. So if that man does not have the capacity for you need to release him. If he cannot listen to your problems, listen to your issues, listen to your heart, listen to whatever space you might be in emotionally, he cannot lead you, he cannot help you, he cannot love you properly because the number one need for a woman is to feel safe, to feel seen, to want to be heard, to want to be received without judgment and without shame and without ridicule. So you have to pray and ask God to give you the type of man that can hold the weight of what you carry, pray for you and cover you, and love you the way that Christ loved the church, right? So I love you guys, and that's what I have for you today. Find you a man that you can feel safe in his presence. That when you speak, he listens. When you talk and you pouring your heart out and you're crying, that he's there to wipe your tears. He's there to pick your spirit back up because that type of man is rare. But when you find him, lock in on him. Listen, I love you guys, and I'm Josie with Girl Plus Kingdom TV and Ministries, and I will check back in with y'all later.